So, hey, everybody. We're having some technical issues with one of our affiliates. Rainbow Radio is not logging in today. Um, Trying it again. But 99.1 WDJY was logged in, as was Yurg's Radio. 99 saying that we're connected. Rainbow keeps saying that we're failing for some reason. I don't know what that's about. That's paid up for over a year. Yeah, I'm going to have to go on that later. I can't worry about doing it now. But 99.1's ready. Yurg's Radio is ready. We're also on the soon to be Yurg's Radio. It's still, you'll still get it through yurgsradio.com and wherever we're at with regards to a radio directory or anything like that. So yeah, doing a bunch of other needing to I have a checklist that I go through every day, and you know what? I always miss something. It never fails. Just there we go. That's a little better. We're zoomed in today, but that's good. All right, let's get started. .1 WDJY, America One Radio, both in Atlanta. Wow, that's some. I ever since a couple weeks ago when we weren't on 99.1 for 2 days and nobody knew it, nobody told us. I've been monitoring as much of the network as possible from my iPad because one of the affiliates is a social audio platform that goes out via my phone, which I'm hoping changes soon. But anyway, so the iPad is the Thunderbolt connector. It's not the USB-C. So I had to go get another set of earbuds, all of this to monitor. Well, we're testing the system that we will eventually be on with all of our internet stations, and that's through Cirrus, a product called Cirrus, Cirrus, by a company called SecureNet Systems. They do pretty much everything, and once we get totally switched over to them, we're pretty much going to be eliminating so many other things that we do to give you the same show. Also, yesterday, I sent our logo and our onboarding sheet to Derek and Romaine Studios at DNR Studios, where we're going to be starting late February, early March, somewhere around there. and yeah, excited about that because that is a good number of listeners that will be incorporating through that network. It's that's a membership network, and people are still going to listen to us. We don't get any part of that, but they also don't get any part of our ad sales. So happy to be a part of that team. And they've got both, just consistent with our audience. They've got both. There's an overlay. Let's get rid of that. There we go. They've got yep. Okay, so that's, I don't know how this happens, but I get zoomed in on the camera. I get zoomed in, and however this happens, the next day the camera screwed up. Nobody moves anything. It's the same position it was in the day before, yet, and my chair's relatively close. I mean, it's not that far off. But wow, do I got to do adjustments? So, oh God, how many more are gone now? Have you been following? Have you? It's tough to keep track. I mean, the guy is good at overwhelming. And I think what we all need to do as those who are holding his feet to the fire, and of course, I'm talking about T-Rump. We got to keep, somebody's got to, somebody told me about dividing and conquering. And that was a Trumper. Morning, Ken. Yeah, no, camera wasn't off. Actually, the camera was off. I just hadn't had to get, everything else was ready. I just never, that's not true. No, I did have the camera on. There was an overlay. It was this. It's this thing. And that just covers the whole screen, covers everything. And then you got overlays like this that only cover part of it. By the way, don't forget, like, subscribe, share, tell people where you can get us. I think you know who I am. I don't need to. Well, actually, also, we're back to going to that Facebook page, the one right there. Ross Yerger, that's mine. Last week, I was suspended from TikTok. It was Thursday's show, and it was the one where the video portion got a late start, got about a 20-minute late start because I forgot to start it. There's this bright orange button in the corner of the screen, and I didn't see it. And it was about 20 after 11 when I started. We went live to all 8 destinations, to include TikTok. And I want to record there too, test that. We're testing the SSI system today. So I'm going to put in the chat add file name, call it Tuesday test. And we're going to put in the chat a link that you can get us at for today. And I'd like for you, anybody, when you can, switch over and click on this link. Let us know how we sound. There we go. Oh, that's don't click on that one. That's the wrong one. I'll have to open it over here. That is not it. Well, that's kind of it. Let's see what that does. Okay, there we go. That's the one. Get rid of that. Click on this link, anybody, and let us know how we sound. That is the eventual from SecureNet Systems, host of Yerg's Radio, where our show will eventually be instead of BR Logic. BR Logic's been great, but I need to be smart about paying certain things. And there's just areas where I'm doubling up, and I shouldn't be doing that. And yeah, I've got to be smart about that and work towards eliminating that. Here's another one. This might be the video. That is not it. What is that? Oh, there's so much crap going on outside that we'll get started, gang. I promise. And then here is the video. If this is actually one of the destinations that we stream to, and I just cut and paste that destination. It's radio.securenetsystems.net. Index station call sign blah blah. That's the video feed. That's the same feed that all the social medias get. 7 of our social media destinations. We have 8 destinations that Restream sends to. One is that video feed that I can cut and paste and put anywhere else that we're not directly going to. For example, up the middle radio show on Facebook, our TikTok account, well, not anymore, our Twitch account, our DLive, a bunch of our 2 YouTube channels. These are all places that we stream directly to through Restream. That second link is one of those destinations. We can easily cut and paste that into any other Facebook page and pin that post to the top of the page. So if you go to Ross Yerger, which I think we're streaming to today because of the TikTok situation, but if you go to the Yerg's Radio page, the Yerger Group page, that link is pinned to the top of the page. And Ken listened in on the first one. Says it plays, sounds okay. The quality could sound a bit better, but I can look to play with a setting. Okay. So that also might be me. You know, if I'm sitting over here from the mic, this mic is for in a studio, not a TV studio. So, you know, I should be up on the mic all the time. And once I do that, I can hear that I sound better by being this close. And then he says that the video feed one is really good. Yeah, so that is the one that's pasted and pinned to the top of a bunch of different platforms. And I'm just going to start using that a lot more, actually, because of the fact that it's a good feed. I've seen it before too. And yeah, we'll be able to cut back on Restream too if we even continue to use it at all. What I'm trying to get Cirrus to do is to also stream 2 destinations like Restream, and then I can cut. That's $50 a month. That's 100, $200 that's like $300 a year. I mean, that's when I start doing better with selling ad spots, that's nothing. But right now, when I could put $300 into paint for the inside of my house, that's still a construction site. You know, put doors on bedrooms so I don't have a shower curtain hanging in the background. You know, that's something I could do. and something that would really help out in the long run. So, more firings, like we didn't have enough. Oh, I think we know the video feed's really good. We can take that comment down now. Thanks, Ken. More firings. First, he started with who went first? The inspectors general. There were like 17 inspectors general that blatantly just went illegally. There was these, I looked into this. These particular inspectors general is the way to say it. First of all, because of their position, he has to fire them. Donald Trump has to personally fire these 17 people. That did not happen. They got this word of mouth through senior staff from the White House. Not legal. Second, they need to be fired what's called with cause. That means they have to have had done something wrong. Not just do their job and you don't like it. And we'll talk about that in a second again, too. And third, there has to be a 30-day grace period where each of the firings can be investigated by Congress. That didn't happen. And now apparently the upside to this for him, downside for the legal system and for our nation, is that many of these, even though they're senior executive service people, which means they're making probably about 150 or 160,000 a year, that doesn't necessarily mean they really have the financial means to hire legal representation to get their jobs back. I think Mitch McConnell, of all people, is the one sticking up for him because he has already said that they're illegal. They're illegal firings. Well, apparently Mitch McConnell standing up to him isn't enough because, and that all that happened Friday. Yesterday, he had the Department of Justice fire everyone that worked on his cases during, basically Jack Smith. As of today, they're gone. Also illegal. It's called the Whistleblower Protection Act of other reasons that it's illegal. But you can't fire somebody just because you're the one that screwed up. It doesn't give you the right to screw up again. And so I just learned about these this morning. I don't know where we're at with this, but I do want to make this comparison today. For those of you who are Trump supporters, for those of you who voted against Kamala Harris because you couldn't afford eggs, I want you to think of these. I would venture a guess that it's probably now close to 100, considering all the firings in the Department of Justice. That had to be a bunch. But at least by now, we're up to 3 or 4 dozen minimum of people who just got up every day, did their job serving their country. And this isn't, we're not talking about a casualty like I would have perhaps suffered if I was injured on the job. That's not the type of injury we're talking about. This is something, I guess at this point, is probably expected. Because, I mean, just think of, the asshat that is Donald Trump. But we're talking about people who just wake up every day, properly go to work, and now, like you, they can't afford eggs. But not because they're $10 a dozen, but because these people no longer have the $10 just for doing their job. That's what you voted for. That's who you voted for. That's who you support when you open your mouth on Facebook. And God knows, probably still LinkedIn, even though I'm no longer there. Another place where apparently you can't actually tell the truth. I'm trying to pull up something. Facebook Messenger for Windows has been acting up. And here's another one who's getting grief unnecessarily. Yeah, I'm gonna try to share this. There we go. Share. How's it look? There we go. Well, I mean, that's. Try to make that a little bigger. I think everybody knows who I am by now. We'll get rid of that stuff. This was a post on Facebook, and this is Scott Jensen is one of the good guys, by the way. That's who you see on the screen. Claymenko. I don't know what kind of screen name that is for a person, but this guy nails it pretty good. This was a post about the Episcopalian female priest. They were trying to razzle her or ride on her for really doing her job. One of the posts I read earlier this morning was about something about bringing politics to her bully pulpit at a place such as the National Prayer Breakfast. And I replied with, imagine walking in to the National Prayer Breakfast, being a convicted felon, and expecting to not be called out for it. Think about that too. But Scott writes on one of the posts, to all the people who said, give him a chance. It won't be as bad as they say. You were wrong. On the first day, the party of law and order pardoned 1,500 convicted insurrectionists. I've been calling them terrorists because that's what they did. You watch that on TV. What are you thinking? How are you feeling watching police officers being beaten by hockey sticks or with hockey sticks? How do you feel watching these people literally climbing the walls and saying they were just at a rally? Wow, that's a party. Including people who have domestic abuse and gun violence convictions on their records. He hasn't even been in office a week. Cancer research, including clinical trials, stopped. Communications between health agencies, stopped. Just as avian flu is making the jump to humans. Funding for government-funded health programs, quote unquote, paused, including university grants and so on. All foreign aid funding except for Israel and Egypt paused. They're looking at severely drawing down troops in areas we're protecting, which, by the way, the last president to not have any military engagement at any point during his administration had military engagement during his administration. It was just very temporary, and it was a huge failure. That was Jimmy Carter. Every single president since then has had military boots on the ground somewhere in the world, as many as 24 times, to include Donald Trump. So when he tells you that he hasn't been in any engagements, he hasn't been in any military engagements that you've seen on TV. Because we're so used to these others, nobody reports about them anymore. More than 24. Cancer research, blah, 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 where I go paused, including university grants. All foreign aid funding, except for Israel and Egypt, paused. They're looking at severely drawing down troops in areas we're protecting. Funding already allocated for infrastructure programs, including those that are already in progress, stopped. Government DEI programs and offices closed, and government employees in other offices told to rat out anyone in their office who does DEI work. This is the Gestapo. This is the SS. And what's amazing is, we'll go back to the very beginning of this post. Give him a chance. It won't be as bad as they say. He literally told you this was going to happen. The female head of the Coast Guard removed just because she's a woman. Unqualified and frankly scary nominees for major positions. Tulsi Gabbard, unqualified and borderline traitor, considering that she's making friends with Syria. Pete Hegseth. I mean, seriously. Russell Vogt, who wrote much of Project 2025, which is essentially where all of this is coming from. He's picked a fight with an Episcopalian bishop because she dared to remind him what Christianity really means. He took us out of the Paris Climate Accords again. He tried to put a hiring freeze on the VA and end birthright citizenship, which is enshrined in the Constitution. He literally ignored the Constitution. Fortunately, courts stopped both of them. He flat out lied and then bragged about his non-existent huge win with a major economic summit. Last night, he fired, this is an older post, the 17 actually happened on Friday. Friday, he fired 17 independent inspectors general, people who work to make sure that these departments run efficiently and try to keep corruption out of them. And not always successfully, but give it a week, give it another week and see what they look like. What will the country look like in a month? 6 months, a year? And by the end of the midterm in 2026, which will be the first time we'll have any real chance to change what Congress looks like. Will it matter? If you voted for Trump, I hope you enjoy getting what you voted for. And it's not cheaper eggs. Yeah, there's that. I got to take a break. When we come back, more on some of these firings, also some updates on what's happening with the Mastiff Media Network, 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, WZQR, and the rest of everybody here at Mastiff Media. We'll be back after this. Hey, what's in your wallet? Well, I'll tell you what's in mine, and it should be in yours. Capital One. My credit card with Capital One has $0 fraud liability for any unauthorized use. Zero. Flexible due dates. Look in your wallet. See if it's there. Or go to my Facebook page and click on the affiliate link. You get checked for pre-approval. You can apply for the card and enjoy. So, trying to play music like this in the background when we come back from those commercials, and I do the live commercials. If you don't get enough of me here, you can get me through Cameo. That's right. I've got a Cameo account now. Scan that barcode right there, or just simply go to cameo.com/Yergs/book, or just go to Cameo and search for Yergs. I'm pretty damn sure I'm the only Yergs there. I don't know. Michael Yerger might be there. You might remember him from Survivor. That picture of me from when I had obviously shorter hair. I'm thinking about going back to that. What do you guys think? There's that one. Here's me. I gotta stand up. So you see the length. I don't mind saying it looks pretty good today. It often looks fuzzy though. So I put it back in the man bun, or you're in a ponytail. I like that show music. Let us know what you think about having that in the background. Yeah, I also want to try to listen to that feed myself. Yeah, okay, that's going. So, I'm just going to put this thing in my ear. During the commercial I saw, Ken had a good, I'm going to shut my headphones off. Ken had a good question. We'll get to that too. But go to Yergs, go to cameo.com/Yergs/book, or scan the QR code on the screen. It's like $5. And I can, wish you or somebody else a happy birthday. I can read you, some like riot act, like you're some goofy ass phone caller, and hang up on you. Anything like that, whatever you want me to do. I can answer questions about the Secret Service within reason. There's some things I can't answer. If you ask a question that I can't answer, I will say that, but I will certainly give you your $5 worth. Go to cameo.com/Yerg/book, or scan that QR code right there, and have my voice forever. Yesterday, we had a listener say from Twitch that I actually sound good. I should be on a radio show. All right. If only you know. And the delay on this feed is not all that much. Let's try it. I'm going to start counting. I'll stop counting when I hear that number start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7-second delay. Boom. There it is. All right. I like that music in the background. That sounded good. All right. So Ken is asking, speaking of convicted felon, due to that status, can Trump even travel outside the U.S.? That's a great question. I've actually seen a Facebook post saying no. I don't know if that's actually true, but I've seen a post saying a bunch of allies, a bunch of countries with whom we do not get along, none of whom uh, allow convicted felons into the country. Whoops. Whoopsie. Let's ask that. Give me a second. So this actually has been looked into as a felon. Fox affiliate in Austin, I presume that's Texas. As a felon, Donald Trump can no longer travel to these 38 countries. Forbes says, as a convicted felon, will it impact his travel as president? Here in Florida, he can still vote. It's because most everybody here in Florida are convicted felons. I mean, how else would Ron DeSantis get elected? Scripps News also counts 38 countries to which he cannot travel to. There's a Facebook post I want to see. A video. Interesting. Hi, baby. I got a puppy crawling up into my lap. There she is. This is Shady. Easy, easy. Yeah. I'm really curious to see if he travels to a lot of these countries. Let's I'm just looking at this video. I didn't put it on the screen because one, it's a vertical and it's a vertical video on a horizontal. That's a lot of wasted space. But let's go to that Fox Austin. Take a look at that one. Maybe they have an actual list. There it is. Look at this, Ken. Look at this. I'll put this up here. That's that one. Let's do that instead. Oh, that doesn't. There we go. That's a little better. Don't have Ken's question blocking me out. I'm looking forward to when, if I do stay with Restream, I'm looking forward to when they allow us to do more custom arrangements, where you have there's different. I don't know what the Lars, a day trading buddy of mine, says, of course he can. He may switch some rules around, and there you go. He doesn't have a choice. We're talking about the countries, him going to the countries who don't allow convicted felons. And here they are in alphabetical order. Argentina. Let's see how many that's. There we go. Argentina, ally. Australia, ally. Canada, ally and neighbor. China, someone with whom we have diplomatic relations with, but also one of our biggest trade partners. Can't visit. Cuba, who has recently, thanks to him, been removed off the list of state-sponsored terrorist countries, even though they're 90 miles away. India, Iran. Don't know they would want to go there, but Israel. God knows he loves helping out Bibi. Japan. Kenya. Isn't that the birthplace of Barack Obama? Yeah, I don't see him visiting there anytime soon. Macau. Oh, cool little country in Europe. I would love to go to Macau. New Zealand. South Africa. Taiwan. The UK. And obviously here. Those were countries that don't allow convicted felons to enter. Countries will deny entry if it's discovered you're a convicted felon. But what's the difference? Well, anyway, continuing is Brazil, Cambodia, Chile, Dominican Republic, Egypt, Ethiopia, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Ireland, Malaysia, Mexico, another neighbor, Morocco, Nepal, Peru, Philippines, Singapore, South Korea. Oh, look at that. He can still go to his buddy in North Korea. Tanzania, Tunisia, Turkey, another one he talks a lot about. Although that guy will probably make a concession for him, considering that he's also a dictator. Ukraine, the UAE. Trump was convicted of 34 felony charges in a scheme to illegally influence the 2016 election through hush money payment to a porn star who told about the two having had sex. Unprotected sex, for those of you that like to thump a Bible around. Yeah. So Lars says, yeah, that's for public, but who says no to a person like that? People with dignity say no to a person like that. That's who. Let's just hope there's some world leaders that actually have that. And I seriously believe that's why he gave his pathetic attempt at a tongue lashing to Davos via video. Why not go? Week 1. Our new strong president is already hitting the pavement, getting out in the road. No. He'd rather talk tough from in front of a camera. And believe me, I would love to do I know we're all going. I would actually love to do a live event. But I'm in the middle of Trump country here where nobody even has radio. And I'm cutting back on a bunch of things so I can afford continue to rebuild my house till my insurance company gets off their ass. So we got only about 15 minutes left. I want to talk to you guys about what, and you know, we got some pretty good activity in the chat today. So that you can also give us a call. I don't know if you can, Lars, because you're overseas. Sorry about that, but you can always give us a call. If for you super fans, I might give you the Google voice line, which I think you can call through the internet. I think you'd be able to use that. I got to take one more break before we go. And when I come back, I'll tell you how we're going to save some money and still come to you for, in some portions, as many as 2 million hits a month. So 99.1 WDJY and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. We will be back right after this. What are you doing later? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to the gym, but not just any gym. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Walk right up to the door. There's a QR code on the door. You can sign up right there. You've got no excuse. But not only that, their equipment is amazing. It's kept up well. It's expanded. There's stretching area. There's CrossFit. There's hardcore training. A dedicated area for stretching, dunk tanks, sauna, everything you need to get that Hernando beach body or keep your Clearwater beach body. You can train with your shirt off, you can scream, you can yell, and you won't be intimidated either. Go to Momentum Fitness and Wellness on US 19 in Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates. Build the momentum. All right, let's do that music again. That was cool. Where'd it go? Hey, there we go. Okay. Try some down tempo. I like the chill. The volume slider on these isn't that great. I want to keep it down. All right. Buyblackett.com. Tomorrow, we're going to be joined by my Wednesday co-host, Philip Blackett. He's both a published author. That QR code on the screen gets you to his Amazon channel. You can also go to buyblackett.com/Yergs. That's the one up there in the top of the, there we go, up in the top corner of the screen. For 15% off his merchandise. I'm not using it today. I will tomorrow. Coffee mugs, shirts, T-shirts, muscle shirts, a bunch of other things. Check him out. And check out some of his books. He's a bright guy. He's a Trump supporter. So, I mean, nobody's perfect, but he at least helps us better understand, and maybe he'll be able to explain some of these things a little bit better. We'll find out tomorrow. But he's joining us every Wednesday. Till then, you can go to buyblackett.com. That's buy as in purchase, Blackett, the color, ETT.com/Yergs, YERGZ, and get your merch. I see somebody scanning it. That's awesome. He thanks you. I thank you. I think I get a commission. I don't know. But I know you get 15% off, and that's what counts. That's what I'm doing that for. Support him, support you. And here's how I'm doing that moving into the spring. One, it's my goal to expand this show to 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. Starting tomorrow, Wednesdays will now be 2 hours. Still starting at 11, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. London time. And I tell you that because on Fridays, we are live in London. But tomorrow is our first day where we're going to be 2 hours every Wednesday. I don't know if Philip is going to be joining us for all 2 hours. I certainly am not going to you know, quote unquote require it. I mean, nobody's being paid here, so I'm not requiring anything. And if he's got other things he's got to do, then maybe he'll just join us for the first hour, and I'll spend the second hour laughing at the things he said. But why are we? Oh, it's because we are expanding in Atlanta. We're now 2 hours in Atlanta as well. And so that was the first day that we went 2 hours with. In addition to the fact that we're already 2 hours on Friday, they have another show. Atlanta has another show at noon that they can't get rid of yet. So we're still only 1 hour on Fridays. We're already 2 hours on Mondays with our Atlanta affiliate. We're Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in Vegas, only for the first hour. And here's the change. I think this coming Friday will be our last Friday, our last day at all. It's the only day we were on here in Tampa with the Tan Talk Network. As you guys know, as a producer of this show, I'm like any major network. I'm paying to be an affiliate on some of these stations, produced on some of these stations. And what I'm paying to be on in Tampa 1 day a week for 1 hour isn't worth it. And that amount spread out over 4, sometimes 5 Fridays per month, I need to put into my house. Because my insurance company has now 3 times delayed any word whatsoever on the payment of money to rebuild my house. Ken says he could see me doing a live event, maybe at the dog bar in St. Pete. Yeah, so here's what's coming, and I can share this quickly. I gotta open it first. Give me a second. The Mastiff Media minivan is on the way. I need to get some better info from Derek and Romaine on exactly which logo they want put on the side of the van. And you'll know what I'm talking about in a second. Where you at? Minivan wrap. Boom. Get that open. There it is. Put that up there. Okay, look at this. Look at this. I'm taking my personal black minivan and that is and I am getting it wrapped. Look at this, will you? I'm getting it wrapped. You know what? I'm going to change it after all. Bigger. So you can see better. I know some of you on your phones that are watching. But there it is. I'm going to Design Proofs and NH Marketing. My black minivan. The logo that Mastiff had that you see there, we're going to change that. Let me see how else that looks. Maybe if I try to enlarge the screen a minute, give me a second. For those of you on the radio, I'm showing, and I'll put this attachment, this PDF, in the show notes. So if you hit me up, I'll send it to you. The side is going to have mastiff.media, which is the web address on the door. With that, it's not going to have that logo. That Mastiff head, we've changed. We've got a coin now. Lars, you hearing me? We got our own coin. It's not a cryptocurrency coin, but it looks like one. If you remember, Lars, I know you remember my Doggy Traders days. the logo there was also a coin. And if you looked at the head of both of my dogs at the time, Moby, rest in peace, and also Matrix, who's sleeping at my feet right here, you could see details from each of the two dogs in the head of the dog on the coin. And that's very intentional. So we're going to have another, it actually looks like a copper penny that we're going to replace that one with. And it's really cool. The guys at Build a Space did that for me. And then the window, the middle window, the backseat door window, we'll showcase a show. We're obviously going to start out with Up the Middle. And because this is in the East Coast of the United States, where we start at 11 a.m., it says 11 a.m. If I were to be moving back to LA, I would switch that to 8 a.m. On the side is our slogan on each side of the car, and the rear part is the station, the Yerg's radio station catchphrase, positive talk in a negative world. Our toll-free number, 1-888-88 Yerg's, and that's identified there as the News, NEWZ. That's how we spell it here, news/traffic tip line. The back, the back windows in the back, the rear third, over the rear quarter panels, are the logos of all of the stations with which we have an affiliation. So you see the UGXL, that's our affiliate over in London. Next one is America One Radio. 99.1 WDJY is that big W. The one in the beginning, the bottom row, is from WWPR. They're no longer with us. They were sold back in November. But we're adding Derek and Romaine. We're adding WZQR. We're adding the Biz Growth Collective. We're trying to add Chatter, although they're not working properly again today. And of course, Yerg's Radio and Rainbow Radio. Rainbow Radio's screwing up today. On the front, across the top, it says the Mastiff.media minivan. And on the hood will be the logo of that penny again. We're going to change it to a penny. And then Mastiff.media backwards on the very front of the hood, where you would see that into the rear view mirror of the driver in front of me. And then down there where the front license plate would be, if Florida had one, that's replaced with the word press, in case we are getting into some sort of area where we're covering a story. They can see that obviously I'm going to have to still check an ID, so on and so forth. I'm working with a bunch of local governments here on getting recognized as press, and getting credentialed by them. There's many local governments, they issue you press credentials, so that when you come up on a crime scene or a fire or whatever, and they let you within a certain area that perhaps they don't let the general public. And then lastly is the view on the back. Again, there's that globe that's on the rear windows on the sides, which I thought that was their addition. I like that. And at the top again, Mastiff.media. On each side is the Mastiff Media logo. Again, that'll be the coin instead of the one you see there. And then you see the logo. It's small, you can hardly make it out, but trust me, they're good-looking logos. Again, Rainbow Radio, Yerg's Radio, and then that spot you see there says TBD, Sports Station. We have a third station that we're putting together for Talk Radio Sports that will also rent the airtime so that you can air your kids' sports game. You can do the play-by-play. You can do the color analysis of your kid's sports game. If that's something that is actually something we've talked to a bunch of people that are interested in. I think we just lost one of our affiliates. Yeah, it's 12 o'clock. So we would have lost 99.1 WDJY and America One Radio. If I wasn't rambling so much, I would have said goodbye to everybody. I think we're still on in ZQR, at least on the internet station, the internet portion of it. Rainbow Radio, we were not on today. I don't know what's going on there. Yerg's Radio. And then all of our video feeds and our 2 new feeds that we're going to have every day now. So that's the Mastiff Media minivan. That's coming soon. I think we had some comments or something in the chat. So yeah, Ken, that's what I'll be showing up to. Maybe at the Dog Bar in St. Pete or Cock Bar or whatever. Lars says, I will visit London next week, and it's only been an hour away. I think what you're meaning by that is that it's only an hour difference, maybe. I don't know. But Tuesdays, 2:30 local time, so it would have already played. 2:30 local time is the replay of the previous Friday's show. Okay, so today they played last Friday's show. This coming Friday, it will be live, and that's at 4 p.m. local time, 11 a.m. here on the East Coast of the United States. All right, gang, I think that's good. We did a little venting, gave a little tough love. And let's turn that off. Yeah, Lars, travel safe. Ken, thanks for joining. Everybody else, thanks for joining. We had good attendance on the social media. That was cool. And just another reminder, I feel like I've got to tell people this sometimes. Do not think that just because the platform you're watching us on may not have as many people. We're on like 16 different social media accounts. We're on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different terrestrial radio stations in 3 markets. We're on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, soon to be 9 different internet stations. So there are actually probably about 40,000 people listening right now. And we love each and every one of you. Tomorrow, translating Trump, our first day, 2 hours on Wednesdays. Like I said, I don't know that Philip's going to be joining us for all 2 of those hours. He's welcome to. He's welcome to join anytime. Any of my co-hosts are. Monday, Jane Stahl returns from her inauguration hibernation. Friday, Blake and Matt will join us again for Friday Fights. Tuesday and Thursday, it's just me. Thanks for joining. Thanks for getting off the porch and running with the big dogs. Straight up the middle. We'll see you again tomorrow.
The average radio listener listens for 18 minutes. The average
Yergs
fan listens for, are you ready for this? An hour and 20 minutes.
How can that be?
Answer most commonly given. I want to see what he'll say next.
All right, okay, fine. But what about the people who hate
Yergs.
Good point. The average skater listens for 2.5 hours a day.
Look, but if they hate him, why do they listen?
Most common.
You've changed. You know that?
Yes, I suppose I have. How about this? Peace, love, dope.
What's that smell? In my studio, it's Aroma by Peter. Scented wax candles with long-lasting wicks that make your place smell amazing. And don't worry, guys. Plenty of scents for you too. For us too. So go to aromabypeter.com